Today we're in Franklin, Tennessee, but I'm going to tell you about a trip to Vegas. I have no idea what's going on over there, but apparently this is where cops hang out and ambulances. Hello. So, I generally don't have too many stories, but I got to thinking about, after the video about my first year, about all the messed up stuff that happened hauling cars. And I realized it was a complete comedy of errors. I mean, something happened every trip. It's funny now, it would have made a great sitcom, but at the time it was pretty bad. So, I'm going to tell you about my first trip to Vegas, because Hunter S. Thompson was right. Vegas is a crazy place, but don't burn the locals. I'd get around and maybe we'd see something interesting on this video. I got out of the truck for a little bit and we're just waiting. But Vegas, so as you know, we'd already had several calamities, and we had decided that this trip to Vegas needed to go off, and this was pretty doomed before it even started. We decided to go down, and we picked up three wheelchair vans going to Phoenix. We picked up new vans coming out of Canada, and we'd take them down to VMI in Phoenix to be turned into wheelchair vans. So then we also got a Volkswagen. Now the Volkswagen had been seized by customs, and that was an interesting story. So, we got the wheelchair vans, but the Volkswagen paid really good, but it had been seized by customs in at the border. So, they got it out of customs and made it down to Wichita with it, where it got seized by customs in Wichita. So we get it out of customs, put it on the trailer, and get it to Vegas, and it almost got seized by customs there, but that'll come later. So we have to go pick up one more car, which is an Audi, and but it's in Oklahoma City. So I get the bright idea, hey, let's borrow the truck and Kelly's race car trailer. We'll go down to Oklahoma City and go pick this Audi up. So that's what we did. And when you show up representing an auto transport company with a race car trailer and a pickup truck and two hillbillies trying to load an Audi, there's a lot of indecision in the store manager's face, but car's already been paid for. He's got to let it go. So he let us have it. We loaded it up in Oklahoma City, took it back to Wichita. Okay, so the sixth and final car was it was a Chevy version of one of those Pontiac Sunbirds, like a little Cavalier or something like that. So in Kelly's mind, despite everything we told him, got 6 cars, he's got a 6-car trailer. We'd only get 5 of the cars on. So what are we going to do with the 6th car? So we get the bright idea that the Cavalier, being as it's kind of a favor he's doing for somebody, we'll just drive that. No insurance, tag was expired by a month and a half. No problem. So we put the 5 cars on. We got the 4 wheelchair vans on top, Audi and the Volkswagen in the belly, and the Chevy driving. So we start heading off to Vegas, and it's pretty uneventful till we get to Phoenix. So we get to Phoenix, we get the 3 wheelchair vans off. We replaced a tire or 2 there because remember, we were losing wheels. We lost 1 or 2 wheels every trip on that trailer. So I remember we replaced the wheels there in Phoenix, 2 of them. And then we ended up, no, we replaced 1 of them. 1 was cracked, but it hadn't fallen off yet. But the other one was still good, so we got a new wheel. And we get the 3 off, and we put the car on, and we start heading to Vegas. Now, We didn't go over Hoover Dam because this is right after, literally immediately after 9/11. We had to go all the way out to Searchlight through Laughlin and up because you couldn't go across Hoover Dam anymore. You used to be able to go right across the top of it on 93. You can't do that anymore. So we make it up to Vegas, and then that's where the fun begins. Now, we had 2 trips that were a little screwed up to Vegas, and I'm trying to keep them in order, so I'm trying to determine which trip was which because they all just kind of run together in a haze. But I did learn on our first trip to Vegas that you're not allowed to take a semi straight up the middle of down Tropicana Avenue. Thankfully, we didn't learn it the hard way, but we were informed that this is not allowed. So we didn't do that the second time. We get there the night before, and Andy gets the bright idea that, hey, we have 1 car with a tag, we're going to Fremont Street. So we were going to Fremont Street because we got the 1 car off that day. The Audi, and that went seamless. The guy was great. He was just a neat guy. Was happy to get his Audi. But the Volkswagen, the paperwork was screwed up, and the guy was trying to claim it was tax exempt under NAFTA, this, that, and the other thing, and had all these weird cryptic letters about why he was able to bring it from Canada, you know, tax exempt, this and that and the other thing. And so we had to go to the customs agent in Las Vegas, and that turned into a calamity. And the guy says, look, I think I'm going to have to seize the car. And we're like, no, please don't. This guy owes us a lot of money. I mean, they owe us a lot of money for this. I said, we really need to get paid. Because I'll explain what the guy was doing here in a bit, and why, but it was a little disturbing. So while we're waiting on that, Andy gets the bright idea to go down to Fremont Street. So we get the 1 car with an expired tag on it, go down to Fremont Street, have a pretty good time. So what ends up happening is when he comes back, we load the car on the top of the trailer over the 5th wheel. Think nothing of it. And we have to deliver that car in Riverside, but we got to get rid of the Volkswagen. So call up the guy about the Volkswagen, and that was a mess. So the guy's putting us off. He's trying to screw us out of money. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. Just typical shenanigans. And we've been screwing around with this for a day. And just pay us our money. We'll give you your car. And he's sitting there trying to jerk us around, say he's already paid this, that, and the other thing, which he had not. And the customs agent was about this far from seizing the car, and I told Andy to do this, and he was trying to be a nice guy and give the guy, and I finally just said, tell the guy if we have to wait 1 minute past midnight, he's going to owe us another 5 bills. And we had the latitude to do that. Boss man said, if they're giving you trouble and you have to take the car away or they're not going to pay, he says, we can charge them more. And sure enough, so finally Andy says, look, if we have to sit here another hour, we're going to charge you another $250. Because the guy's saying, oh, I can't get the money till tomorrow. It's Vegas. You can get money anytime, anywhere for anything. So to tell me you can't get money in Vegas is a bunch of crap. So finally, we're like, look, have us the money, or because if we sit here another hour or two, we're going to charge you another $250. Basically, we're going to start charging you $250 an hour until you pay us or we go home. And then we're going to charge you freight going home. And suddenly the guy's like, I'll have the money in 45 minutes. Imagine that. So basically, we get to the guy's house. He gives us a cashier's check. We would take cash, cashier's check, certified banknote, whatever. We're not taking a personal check. No, you will give us a real check. And he did. And what I found out is he was trying to sneak the car into the country without paying taxes on it. It was one brother giving his other brother a car for the guy's daughter. Because when we pulled up there and pulled the car off, this 16-year-old girl comes out of the house just excited as all get out. My car's here, my car's here. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. So the guy was just trying to screw the system out of a few bucks because he didn't want to pay taxes on the car. Well, I'll tell you this. When he goes to tag it, it's probably going to get seized, or he's going to owe all those back taxes on that car because he doesn't have the proper paperwork. So we all wished him the best of luck, and we had a good night in Vegas. But the trip was far from over because there was more calamity to befall us. So we have fun down on Fremont Street, and it's time to go. We got to head to Riverside. So we load the car up, and what we did not know, well, I'll get to that in a minute. We didn't know, we didn't have a trip permit for it. We were just sneaking in states and sneaking out the best we could. Turns out we didn't have tags or insurance either, but that's another story. We get down to Baker, and we get out to, get something to eat real quick on our way into Riverside. Look, there is oil everywhere. The Chevy is completely covered. The trailer is completely covered. I mean, the whole car is just, from the trailer is completely saturated. Well, I get looking and realize that when he pulled the trailer on and cinched it down, there was a little stud about this high sticking up in front. It was about this far off the oil pan. Hit a bump, bam, busted the oil pan on the Chevy. And you wouldn't think that four quarts of oil would go very far, but I'll tell you what, that trailer, if it's still around, it's probably still greasy. Oh man. So we had to figure out how to fix that, and quickly. There's an old saying out there that says if you don't know what you're doing, do it quickly. So we did. So suddenly my job is to fix this mess because, well, Andy was not the mechanical type. So I look, the hole's about as big as my pinky. I realize that I can patch it with a dime. So I go into the truck stop, get a package of JB Quick, a gallon of oil, and a bunch of carburetor cleaner. And so I clean off the oil pan, we get it spotless. I stick a dime in the hole, and then I proceed to just layer after layer after layer this huge glob of JB Quick into a patch about that big on the oil pan. So I patch it up, and about 20 minutes out of Riverside, we pulled over and put oil in it. But I said he wanted to wash the trailer off. I said, we need to wash the car before we deliver it. He's like, I ain't washing the car, screw that. I was like, do you not realize that they're gonna know? Yeah, he knew what he was doing, so whatever. So we get the trailer washed off, but we get that car delivered, and we were out of there. The trip home was it was bad. Was that that was that trip. Yeah, that was the final trip we did together. I made a mistake. We didn't change the wheels. We lost 2 wheels coming home. And when we got back, we got outside of Weatherford, Oklahoma. I stopped at the Loves, realized there was 2 wheels, and I proceeded to get cussed at, yelled, and screamed. And I mean, I told you that when I said that this working relationship with this guy deteriorated, it was gone. I mean, I would call him a CS, but that'd be giving him too much credit at this point. So I actually hitchhiked to Oklahoma City and got a Greyhound and went home. He only beat me home by about 4 hours. I got my pickup truck, ran to where the truck was, and got my stuff out of it and went home. And yeah, that was an interesting trip. First time I'd ever hitchhiked. Made it home, and yeah, Vegas. Whole trip. This whole car hauling thing was a comedy of errors. That's where that particular story ended. I remembered that after he quit, I went back to work and worked 3 more weeks with the guy. And I replaced a pair of wheels in Phoenix. That was what I was thinking about. It was just it was just bad. You know, we all need to work, and we all have things we need to do, and I'm not trying to, there's no real lesson here. Just, there are times when you just have to call it quits. But man, Vegas, I've been to Vegas many times after that, but I'll tell you what, the first couple times, especially that second trip, that was memorable. I hope that your trips to Vegas aren't that memorable. I mean, I would really rather had a cliche to where I'm being chased by the mob and I'm barefooted because I lost my shoes. You know, that would have been a story to tell. You know, not what happened here. I mean, did gamble a little bit, and hey, it was fun too. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Vegas trip, it's fun. You go to Vegas for the experience of being in Vegas. But as for everything else, it is what it is. So hey, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next trip.